And then you hear, oh, Ethereum, it's a piece. I've told you, there's XRP. An amazing chart.
Yesterday, around 100 people tested Caffeine AI on ICP, and we burned 17,000 ICP. Well, this is the head of Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov, shaking hands with Donald Trump. On this channel, we're all about life-changing returns. That's the only mission of what we're trying to accomplish. And we know how easy it is to make life-changing returns if you're in crypto at the right time, right before a massive bull run. So we've been covering, when will that bull run arrive? It's taken 3.5 years. We've covered why it's been such a massive delay and why sometime between July, which is right now, and when Jerome Powell leaves, Trump puts in a puppet Fed Reserve chairman, they lower interest rates, they usher in liquidity, they let inflation run hot, and what altcoins do what they always do in conditions like that, they pump. We've covered how that is the most likely scenario. It's just a waiting game, sometime between July and when Jerome Powell leaves. So July's kicking off to a very, very good start. Bitcoin pumped through 120K. Chainlink pumped through 18. ICP just started breaking through $6. So again, we cover the timing of the bull run all the time. Today, we're going to talk about positioning the best possible assets. We're going to hear from Raoul Pal, hear exactly what his favorite altcoins are heading into the bull run. And then we're going to make our own determination of which altcoins are the best heading into the bull run. We can't cover them all, but we're going to talk about the top, the big ones, the highest quality assets on the planet, and the ones with the most upside. Obviously, there's some big cap altcoins out there that don't have as much upside as the undiscovered smaller cap ones. So we're going to dive into all that. First, let's hear from Raoul Pal on what he thinks the best altcoins are heading into what could be a massive bull run.
And then you hear, oh, Ethereum, it's a piece. I've told you, the financial system is going to be built on it. It'll do fine. Will it be the best performing token? I don't know. I don't care. It's okay. Ethereum's amazing. Solana, incredible. Sui, amazing. Don't worry about it. These great layer ones, they'll do fine. We'll come to some others in a sec.
So before we get into those others that he just mentioned, he's bullish Ethereum, he's bullish Sui, he's bullish Solana, he's bullish essentially high quality layer ones. That's what he just said. Again, we have to refer to the most important chart when it comes to looking at these assets. How much money are these assets making? At the end of the day, they are selling block space. ICP is different because it's also selling compute, data storage, and a lot more than just block space. The other blockchains are just selling block space. So when we look at how these assets are performing, right, he likes high quality layer ones. These are the highest quality layer ones on the planet. Tron is making an absolute fortune, has a lot of stablecoin growth on it. Ethereum, obviously, number 2 in terms of fees generated in the last 30 days. Solana beating Bitcoin. BNB chain. So Zcash woke up recently. That's a new development. Filecoin woke up. The Internet Computer is up next. Then we have Avalanche, Near, Cardano, Polygon, Injective, Stellar, Sonic, Dogecoin, Aptos, Rona. At the end of the day, this is what matters. How much money are they generating? The assets on this list make the cut by his criteria. High quality layer ones. So let's look at the exact list of assets that he is bullish on and holding heading into this market. Let's evaluate his criteria for determining quality. My bag is mainly Sui with Ethereum via NFTs and a smattering of others. XRP, Doge, Smoking Chicken Fish, Bitcoin, and Solana. So he's picking the big cap assets apart from Smoking Chicken Fish and Sui.
Nothing bad about Solana. I love Solana. They're amazing. Tolly does an amazing job. The whole community is amazing. Is Sui going to outperform? Probably, because it's earlier stage. It's not that complicated. There's no dissing. I'm not insulting your grandmother. Dogecoin. Amazing chart. I mean, this thing is amazing. The alt season, corrective. Alt season, corrective. Alt season, okay. Let's see what happens. Well, it's missing a bit of this, but basically, from the start of 2014, when this came out, it's outperformed Bitcoin, but it does it in the spurt. Will it do it again? Maybe. I don't know. But I know that a normie comes on, I want to buy some crypto, looks at Bitcoin, goes, I'm not going to pay 110,000 for this. looks down the list on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, Coinbase, Kraken, Robinhood, and goes, well, Doge is cheap. I've heard about that before. Doesn't Elon like Doge? XRP is cheap. We've heard about XRP. There's tons of YouTube videos, and my uncle owns it. What about it? Great. I have no issue. There's XRP. Equally amazing chart. I'll be staggered if XRP does not break higher. Massively.
His big bet is that people who don't understand the market are going to come in and bid these assets up. It's very likely that they will. We've seen what happens to the high quality assets. They also get bid up. But he's looking at like the top 5 assets in terms of bullishness. Now we have to look at Sui. What's his criteria for picking an asset like Sui? Obviously, smoking chicken fish is a meme. He's gambling with that one. That's a pure gamble. That's the meme coin casino. It's like going to the slots. Yes, people can get rich on slot machines all the time. Most people don't. Right? Again, fundamentals are what matters. People get rich buying Nvidia, Amazon, Google early. Facebook, Tesla. That's how people get rich. High quality assets. Solana, very early. Chainlink, very early. Even the early holders of ICP are filthy rich because it's a multi-billion-dollar asset. So again, what's his criteria for picking a high quality altcoin? This says why he's bullish Sui. How to know what to hold. You need to be able to prove network effects over time, growing number of wallets, and growing total amount transacted on network. An early look is growing number of developers. It also needs to persist over time. Again, another reason I chose Sui, but your mileage may vary. So he's saying we need developers, we need growing number of wallets, and we need total amount transacted on network. That's his criteria, as well as relative performance. So we're going to evaluate some of these assets according to that criteria. First up, impossible to ignore, the top fastest growing ecosystems in 2024. 2025 isn't done yet, but in terms of overall developers, we have Ethereum's eigenlayer at 167% growth in developers. We have Aptos, Solana, 83%. The internet computer, 75%. Beating Coinbase's blockchain, Aztec Protocol, Stacks, Ton, Stellar. Guess what? Sui, 24% growth in 2024. That's total developers. That's really important. What about full-time developers? Eigenlayer number 1, internet computer. Full-time developers number 2. We've covered this chart before, but that's in the depths of the crypto winter. 2023, 2024, internet computer, again, not only earning more money than 99% of blockchains, beating 99% of blockchains by developer activity. What about wallet addresses? Well, 1 month ago, the total number of internet identities on the ICP network nervous system was 2.776 million. 1 month later, it's 2.8 million. So we're talking tens of thousands of people every single month joining this network. Wallet addresses are going up. Over the last year, it's jumped almost 300,000 new people around the world, right? That's an uptrend. So we're winning on developer count. We're growing in terms of number of wallets. Then what about total activity on ICP? We're going to talk about Chainlink, but what about total activity on ICP? This is July 16. Yesterday, around 100 people tested Caffeine AI on ICP, and we burned 17,000 ICP. Look at that spike in burnt ICP. This is just a test run of Caffeine AI. What is Caffeine AI? It's a self-writing internet language where you can just talk to it and it will create applications for you. I cloned the Brilliance Jewelry app from Caffeine AI Marketplace and rebuilt it as a point of sale for a coffee shop in 2 prompts. That's the power of this. Anyone can be a coder. Anyone can create anything. You can clone a software application, tweak it, tell AI what you need it to do, and then launch it on the world computer. Revolutionary technology. We're seeing adoption. So according to his criteria, ICP fits the bill, earning massive amounts of revenue, growing in adoption massively. What about Chainlink? Well, this is the head of Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov, shaking hands with Donald Trump, the president of the United States, who just signed a sweeping crypto regulation bill, which is going to unleash a flood of liquidity from banks into these assets. We're so early. Again, the smart money moving trillions of dollars on chain into the blockchain world. Sergey Nazarov is right here in the middle of it, just like Chainlink will be in the middle of it all. Now, what's another criteria Raoul Pal looks at when looking at which token to buy? Your token must outperform Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin to even matter. And it needs to have weekly charts that prove that. For me, SUI is a good chance. So we're talking about ICP and Chainlink today. Obviously, the revenue potential of ICP is already enormous. It's already beating SUI. Chainlink's revenue potential already well beyond what SUI could even hope to accomplish in terms of future adoption. We'll see, but that's where we are now. So on revenue, those two are winning. What about relative performance? Well, I totally disagree with him on relative performance. He thinks you have to be beating Ethereum and Bitcoin to even matter. I just totally disagree. My first experience making life-changing money in crypto was with the sandbox game. I've covered this on one video a while back on this channel. Here's the chart of the sandbox game. I owned this asset. This was my biggest bet in July of 2021. I was looking for a deep value asset. I found the sandbox. It was getting adopted. It had good backers. Its chart looked terrible. July 2, 2021, the price was 24 cents. Look at that horrendous price action. Let's compare that to Ethereum. On July 2, 2021, Ethereum was outperforming this small cap asset. Sandbox from that point did another 10x. Ethereum stalled out. So I just don't understand chasing charts. That's kind of what his method is. Like, find the assets that are outperforming and buy them. I'd rather buy high quality assets that are massively underperforming, that give you that extreme upside compared to the bigger cap assets that have been outperforming. We don't chase pumping charts. We find the deepest value possible and make life-changing returns. Again, look at the chart of Cardano. Cardano wasn't outperforming anything back here. It just looked absolutely terrible. But that is when you buy. That's how you get the 100x. You don't get it by like chasing the momentum of some big cap asset. So I do disagree with him on that. But even if we do look at the relative performance of some of these assets, let's just take a look. Obviously, the internet computer, this is at the time of recording the video. Obviously, it could change. If we just look over the last month, the internet computer is up 16.8%. That's on the 1 month time frame. Bitcoin up 13%. So the internet computer is outperforming Bitcoin. Chainlink is massively outperforming, up 42% over the last month. So he's just ignoring some of these high quality altcoins. That's our opportunity. He has a big voice, right? Institutions listen to him. They're looking at SUI, they're looking at Solana. No one's looking at ICP. Very few people are looking at Chainlink. These are undiscovered, high quality assets growing exponentially that are actually starting to outperform on a relative basis. So they literally hit every single metric that makes Raoul Pal bullish on these assets. Again, regardless of relative price action, because you could look over many different time frames. I'm just looking at over the last month. You could look at over the last few years, and we know exactly why these assets haven't performed as well as the big mega caps, because the ISM, the economy, small businesses, emerging technology has not been able to do as well as the tried and true assets that Wall Street understands. We're just getting started in the world discovering these smaller cap, very high quality assets with exponential adoption. We cover assets all the time in this channel. There's many others, but that's what we're covering in this video. High quality, being adopted, setting the stage for an epic bull run. Again, we're not talking about the timing of the bull run in this show. We're talking about positioning, which assets. So we're going to stay on top of these assets. If you want to learn how to make passive income in these assets, let me know. You can reach out to me on Patreon. I'll show you how to stake your Chainlink and your ICP and any other asset on the planet. Because while we're waiting for that massive bull run, we're earning unbelievable passive income.